What was
Say hi. That's my daughter, Caitlin. Her hair isn't usually that color. She's trying to go purple. God, my voice sounds horrible because I've been talking to so many people this week about everything.
Where is this on?
I'm about to do a Facebook Live on top of a TikTok Live at the same time. Because I realized, just like me, I never used TikTok before. Until recently. Okay, so how do I start it? How and oh. It posts details. Okay, now camera angle's horrible on Facebook Live, but I am live on Facebook too. Except I hate looking up, and I have to look up. Why don't you scoot closer to your mommy? Look. Why don't you scoot closer to your mommy? And vitamin C.
Vitamin C? Is that girl from that one movie thing?
No, that used to be a face, not a face, an artist, a music artist. And so yeah, I've already spoken so much that I have no voice. So, but I'm still willing to keep talking to show the world that I am who I am, and I don't have to be, oh, look at my children. I love to prove who I am, because I'm just rough and tumble, and I tell it like it is. That's just who I am. I don't care what people know about me, but if you have a question, I'll answer it honestly, because I have nothing to hide, literally, except these people have gone around talking nothing but crap about me, and I've been alone in the fight back. As much as I've written online for years the truth and provided proof, it's finally, I feel like she's being heard, I'm being heard, and my daughter Ava's being heard, and they are not being heard, and that's what's important. There are some things that I am very curious to know how they are able to obtain children and retain them in their household, given her pattern of documented child abuse. And I know damn well the Philippine government would not permit her to have children in their care if they knew. And that's the concerning part, if they knew what she did to other children. And I'm not even sure my children are the only children. That's just the marriage she was in. I know her own family told me to keep her away from children, but there was nothing I could do. They were already taken from me by them at this point. So, I mean, I can, on my TikTok, I'm more set up to share things because I'm using TikTok Live Studio. Facebook, not so much, because I'm just streaming a live post. So I prefer right now the TikTok setup. I don't have OBS Studio configured yet. Otherwise, I'd be blasting this all over all the media formats, and I'm not doing it for money. I have a ton of followers that don't pay attention to me, and I've had this account for so many years. I could monetize anything I want, but I don't, because I don't use my kids like that. But they're still using my kids for money. Do you have video examples?
I have to look through all of them to get.
She's still using my kids to monetize and earn money, and neither of them are allowed to because neither of them have any rights to them. So I'll be here a long time for anybody to be. If anybody has questions about the legitness of me and my story, feel free to send them to this. I'll answer anything, any question, even if it's about me. I mean, you can go through my blog at jensnotes.com, bring up a question. If you think I have something more I could add to detail about my own life, I'll tell you. I have my own problems. I'm working through them. Don't have a problem discussing it. My current problems are very much derived from the ending of my last marriage and trust, definitely. The fact that my kids can be ripped away from me so easily with no real cause, and accusations can fly at your face in the state of Florida, and they stick with you and they haunt you and they destroy your life, and there's nothing you can do except fight it for years. And in the end, you lose. In Roselou Flavell's case, the evidence was compelling and overwhelming, and she got a little smack on the wrist and manipulated the system so bad that she was allowed to travel the world during a period when she was supposed to be on severe restrictions. And the lies were to the court system and her probation officer. At the same time, she was posting videos on her TikTok and YouTube about what she was really doing, and the system didn't listen. So, there is so much out there, and it's so painful. And what I've had to relearn and rehash up, the old memories, everything I've been through, that's a brain job there. And I've been through a lot this week. Right, Caitlin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, call me out on anything. That's what I'm here for. I don't care. And just because I have tattoos, they're pretty cool ones, does not make me a bad person for sure. I don't even intimidate. Well, I can intimidate people, that's for sure, in person. But everybody that knows me knows that I'm a genuine sweetheart. Except when I'm mad. When I'm mad, that changes everything. But when it comes to those two in the Philippines, I've kind of blocked them out. And then when it resurfaced this past week, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I spent all this time just ignoring their existence, wishing I never even uttered a heartbeat out of them. Because I don't want to pay attention to them. I can't stand listening to my ex-husband's voice, which has also changed. The way he projects himself on his channels, that is not who he is. I mean, I've got my YouTube channel up here on the bottom of my TikTok live, and there's many, many thousands of videos, and I can pull up any old family video and you'd see the Matthew Flavell for who he used to be. But everybody sees him now, and it's this narcissism. And it all started out with him in our last year of marriage. He would make these web memes with his own picture and talk about how to overcome struggles he did not really have. He was the money maker. This dude had whatever he wanted. I managed the money. And I paid the bills because he wasn't good enough to do that. He didn't want anything to do with paying the bills. He literally just made the money. He wasn't mom or dad, did no discipline. He sat in an office all day staring at a computer screen, just making the money. That was the extent of his interaction with the world. He had not one friend, And the only people he could claim as friends were my best friend and my other acquaintances. But he never went out of his way to make a single friend in this country since I brought him here in 2000. That is really sad on all accounts. And then when I caught him online, he made on Plenty of Fish, OK Cupid, these sites. I found his profiles. He made his profiles exactly to mimic my personality and my thoughts, my skills, my everything. And he made them like he wanted to project himself as me. And that scared me. Like, he's out there pretending to be somebody he's not. And that was the first signs I saw him pretending to be somebody else. I'm so thirsty and my throat hurts. But there is a long, storied history. We moved to Florida. I moved us to Florida within 2 weeks from over 1,300 miles away because I thought it would change our lives because everybody says Florida is the happiest place on earth. It's not. It's a miserable nightmare of people who aren't from here. They are a cesspool of everyone around the world. They don't know how to get along with each other. They can't drive. And they end up in jail on drugs and miserable because they can't find jobs. That is not the picture that was portrayed to us ever when you come on vacation. So I thought this would be the greatest place to move to. And I was dead wrong. Dead wrong. So never move to Florida believing that this is the happiest place on earth because you will find joblessness, high home prices, stress, killer attitudes from people, rude people, drugs on every corner, and it's just not, it's not a happy place. Disney World isn't even a happy place. You go there, it's 100 degrees outside, and there's no shade, and they charge $20 for a drink, and you're dying because it takes 6 hours to get on one ride. I haven't even been to Disney World since I moved here because it's a miserable place to go. The rides are that of carnival rides that happen to have Mickey or something like that. It's really hard to explain how this state is portrayed to the whole world as so great. I would rather be home in Michigan, in my hometown south of Detroit, dealing with the harsh winters than having to deal with the people here. And it's really difficult because I'm trapped here now. You know, my kids are in high school and I have business here and my loved ones are still up north and I hardly ever get to see them. And that's my therapy, is going home to get away from all this. But to know that there are two people in this world that have made it their mission to make me look out to be such a horrible person when I've been nothing but the most loving mother, when he has done nothing but abandon these kids. And I did everything in our marriage to change me, only to realize it was not me that needed changed. I lost so much weight. I started out, I believe it was 366 pounds. So I put my self through a couple bariatric surgeries to lose weight. I thought that would make marriage better. I went to therapy. I did all this stuff. And in the end of the day, it ended up being him and his fooling around online that was messing up my brain. And people don't realize the toll that takes on a wife that's been nothing but devoted to you. When it started, 11 years, but I continued it on until we were married for 15 years. My mom, we brought her here to Florida with us when we moved in 2013 because she was homeless. And we gave her a home to be in, only to find out that she was killing herself by not revealing breast cancer. And she ended up tragically dying in front of my children in the home. not 3 months later, and Matthew Flavell like went in her room and threw temper tantrums, which I showed a lot of people the video, where I was upset at what he was doing, and he threw himself on the floor and whined and told me and my mother to go home. And she lived 1 week later. She was playing her last game of Farmville on Facebook in the video at the time, and my mom wouldn't settle for his crybaby uselessness and trying to get sympathy for something you couldn't give sympathy for. And he did that in front of my mother a week before she died, in the very bed that's videoed in the video that she's laying in. And so he's done some pretty horrific things. Within 3 hours after my mother died and they removed her body, he invited about 10 children in my house to run amok while I was crying in bed face down. And I had nobody. And he didn't care. He didn't care that someone just died 3 hours prior. That meant the world to me. In the front room, where he then allowed children to just run amok. I mean, these are just little stories. Think of ever seen all the big ones. These aren't the things he's sharing online. He would smash my boys' heads together with him and discipline. I always asked him to step in and be a father, admit some sort of discipline, not violence, but just like ground them, do something. But he would either do nothing at all, or he'd go too far himself. So the typical, if he's really sick of my boys, and I have videos of this somewhere on that list of videos, or that way, depending if you're a desktop or mobile user, like of him just taking my kid and is smashing their heads together and sending him that way. And that was his excuse. And then he makes the most horrible excuses and lies about it, even though I seen it. So he would gaslight me in real time and make me think that things didn't happen, that I just saw them with my own eyes. Or he would try to deflect it and blame it on one of them. Sure, they were being unruly, but you just freaking bashed their heads together. He favored the girls. That's the difference in the story when it comes to Matt Roselou. He would take the girls in, but he has openly admitted on he always knew I recorded him, so there's tons of recordings, but he openly admitted on audio recording that he did not like the boys. But yet, when the situation flipped and he was with Roselou, they took the abuse out on these girls, and a little bit on my youngest son, Andrew, but by locking them in their rooms, not feeding them, providing them no furniture. There was bugs in the house galore. They collected dogs, monetized the dogs like they do my children now. There's so much. And I don't even know how many viewers I have. I could have 0 viewers right now. I can't actually see because there's too much covered up, but I'm talking to talk. This is how I operate my blog, unfortunately. I go on there to write to let it all out. My blog doesn't get a lot of traffic. Only recently have I started seeing an influx of traffic, and I started to wonder, what's going on? Nobody pays attention to me like this. I don't seek attention. The blog is my spot on the internet. It has been since 2001. And so I started to see this uptick in traffic, and analytics would tell me the search terms that was used to find my blog. And I started wondering, but I didn't really play much into it. I just figured they were up to something like they always are. And Kaylin, do you have any stories to share?
I mean, not right now. I'm clearly dumbfounded right now.
She's clearly dumbfounded, but
I'm trying to look for, like,
she has access to things that I don't have access to when it comes to them. And frankly, like I've said on my posts, I avoid them like the plague. I don't look at their profiles because it makes me want to vomit. I don't watch their videos. The other day, they tried to play a video, one of his recent ones, about, it was in reply to Caitlin's video on his story part 1 or something, I actively put construction earplugs in my ears and I went la 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 silently to myself so I could not hear it, because it literally sickens me that much. So I don't visit none of these profiles and I don't collect links. So right now, I've been given so much advice to go to Raffi2Flow, and I need people to send me all the links they possibly can so I can put together this package. I got all the legal evidence to back me up. I got all the photos. But they need to see how they betray themselves online, and they've started to delete stuff. On one of their TikToks, I managed to get in there and download all their videos, but they have several TikTok profiles, several YouTube profiles. They have at least a couple Facebook profiles, a group, a fan club, weird shit. I couldn't even imagine in a million years, like, doing. Like, who does that really? I mean, that would look weird to all my friends if I created a fan club for myself, because I'm neither famous nor important. I mean, even if I did charitable work, which I've given away plenty, I'm not advertising it. I don't need to. I do it for my own ness and everybody else. I don't need to physically have a camera on me to show people I'm doing stuff to earn money on it. I mean, it's like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry in the UK. Anytime they do something charitable, they always got to have a camera in their face showing them doing it. And that's wrong. If you are truly in your heart doing something for the good of anybody, you're doing it despite camera or no camera. And so far, all they've managed to do is take whatever United States income he has, which is a lot compared to what everybody makes in the Philippines, and convert it to pesos. And sure, that translates to a lot of help. But I just saw a video today that I didn't want to watch, but I had to, because they said there was a screaming a child in the background, and while she was around flaunting off all their blessings, they call it. And I'm like, where are they getting this money? Because the last financial affidavit they filed in court, he barely made anything. And he lies about, the significance. Anybody can go to 907technology.com, his website, and look at the founder's credentials. They're all fake, okay? Because I was married to him when he got all the jobs he listed, and they were low-level jobs. And he's portraying himself on his own website to be some high-flying executive of some sort who's got all this experience to lead the world into the future of security and shit. He doesn't have a master's degree. He doesn't have a doctorate. In fact, he tried to be like my husband, who is working on his PhD, tried to enroll in the same school, but recently admitted he dropped out because it's not true. It's not true. None of it is. He can't prove it. There's no transcript records. Courts requested all this in our case, and there's no evidence. His online persona is not who he is, not in the slightest bit. And I know him. I was married. I brought him to this country, got him the green card, and got him all the jobs that he lists on his resume as important jobs. And they were low-level jobs. They weren't no management, no supervisory roles, no nothing. So it's laughable. He's in California now because they fled the state when her probation ended, and also because so many people here know them now and their character. But he fled to California, I guess, in an attempt to ultimately end up in the Philippines. But I guess the story is right now she's in the Philippines permanently because she had to leave the country and she wanted to create a fake facade to the Filipino citizens she lives around to make them look good and to seek attention. And I don't know what else she's gaining over there for her whatever it is that she is doing. But they've got new cars, another house. They've got like an e-bike, a golf cart. I'm like, he couldn't even afford this stuff in the United States. And right now, he's living near San Jose, California, the most expensive state in the country to live in, where a meager house of 1,200 square feet, or let's say in meters, that would be 300 square meters, would cost $1 million. And there are some serious questions to where he's obtaining this money. He only has a 907technology.com website /business. He only does that when he's unemployed. And he's never made a buck because there's no tax filings in the United States for this business. So he's made no money on this business at all. So there's some serious questions about where their income is coming from, how she obtained children in the Philippines because of her child abuse history. Either she lied to them, withheld information. So I need this Raffy Tuflo guy. I need him to investigate this. I need him to figure this out because she's a danger to children. I mean, an authentic danger to children. In 2016, I was accused of punching my oldest son in the face, but the witnesses were there to say no, it didn't happen. And the medical reports done by the state and all that showed no injuries, nothing like that. I had been drinking that I was guilty of. But he was not it, and I fought that thing for so long. And I had my ex-husband on the defense vouching that I've never touched my kids in my life. I yell, I scream, I don't hit. And like, he knew I was innocent, and I got the text messages posted on my blog. And I fought that for so long. But he went on YouTube the other day and said, he had my kids because I was locked away and he didn't kidnap them. I'm like, where did the last 3 years before that story? This story started in 2016. The kidnapping of my children started in 2017 and didn't end until a judge finally saw through them and gave them back in 2022. And it took the abuse to give them back. And the judge said to me, they are right where they should always have been and never left. And I was validated at that point. I served time for something I didn't do because Roselou manipulated my ex-husband to change the story after he had already sworn testimony in court for my side. I don't know how he got away with that. I know they threatened him with contempt of court and jailing for trying to pull that stunt. But somehow Roselou got to him and worked. It came back to haunt him in court a little bit later on when he was slapped with an $8,000 fine for telling the judge he had married somebody that talked some sense into him to not pay his child support and alimony, and he didn't need to pay it anymore, and the judge smacked him down right there with a fee. And I was like, how stupid you got to be to say that to the judge, that somebody taught some sense and you got married to, so that you didn't have to pay, even though he was court ordered to pay. In the end of the day, I just gave up. He owed me over $160,000 at the end of the day, but the stress and the evilness behind them, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the mentality, the stress. It wasn't worth it. So I let him off with $13,000. He paid it, then he fled. But there's more reasons that he fled, because something happened to his job at Jacobs Technology where he was not a NASA engineer. He was a computer programmer. And he has an X profile, x.com/NASA_Matt, where he sincerely portrays himself to be the father of the Artemis program, or the SLS system, Space Launch System, that controls the launches. He called it his baby in one post. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, this dude, that's the pictures he's posting is the same freaking pictures any employee at the visitor center could take a picture of on their way into work. But he was manipulating then and his employment. And it's just so gross, and I know the truth. And because he lived just 30 miles from here, anybody could see what the hell he was doing. So many court documents had to be filed in our marital case that the truth is in there. And none of this was in there. It's just his online persona that's so messed up. I mean, even Roselou claims to have she proclaimed to the judge to have a master's degree, and this girl probably hasn't even graduated, even a bachelor's. Maybe she has some credits, but she's so stupid. There's no way she went to college. I mean, I'm not a college graduate, but I will be in about 1 year. I've been working my entire life to get to this goal, but it's very hard to do that when you have 4 kids and mental stress and all this crap that's going on. I have 2 exams I have to do in 2 days for 2 classes. And all of this has taken my focus off of finishing those exams so I can finish my semester. And so it's mentally disturbing in so many ways. And everybody around me can see it, they can feel it, they can hear it in my voice, see it in my eyes. I mean, I literally just brushed my hair for the first time in 3 days. I haven't had a shower in 3 days. I have been up day and night. It keeps me up at night. And I can't stand it when people think negative thoughts of me, especially if they're very much not true. It's okay to think negative thoughts if you see my case in 2016, but at least let me explain it, whatever. But they're out there on these social medias flipping the whole story. And you can't compare apples to apples here. This is apples to basketballs, apples to footballs. There's just no comparison. With her, it's a long history of repeated abuse and deception. I had a one-off incident that was due to depression, and I drank, and basically that's the story of it. And yeah, I admit and own up to it. Why can't they? It's so simple. What? It would be a whole different story if they would just own up, admit to their wrongs, and apologize. But they don't. They proceed to carry on as if they don't have this shady background. And it is very shady. I mean, I got some horrific videos of the manipulation they did to the police officers or their school, where they made my own daughter, this one here, turn on me and hate me. It took a couple years, but she realized that she was brainwashed. She knew who her mama was, right, Caitlin? Yeah. She's the only of my 4 kids they managed to, and they bought her love. Every time I saw my daughter, she had fancy name brand clothes on. Her hair was done all fancy with bows up, but not my daughter Ava. My sons were ungroomed, but she always had everything bought. I keep pointing to me, but I'm disoriented. This one. She always had everything bought for her and given to her, and that was how they were able to manipulate her. Because I'm not that kind of parent. I learned the spoiling lesson with my first son when he was young, and so even now they're not spoiled. Right, Caitlin? I don't ever give you anything, do I?
No, really?
They get rewarded when they deserve it. And like, it's just insane. But like, if I flip to the window, there are so many videos. Right now it says 1 to 30 of 734, But if I just keep scrolling and keep scrolling all the way, and it ends up in the many thousands of videos. And I have downloaded, and they're all private. Nobody can see these except what you're seeing right now, because it's not my business to post them. But it was used for the court system to show what she was doing when she lied to them. But it just took too long to get to. And right now she's in the process of currently deleting things to erase the history. But because I haven't been paying attention and I didn't want to look at their channels, I did not have a chance to go in and download all their content. And so as we speak, she's erasing history. And I don't do that. I'm a digital hoarder. There's nothing I don't keep. I have every document ever. I have every email written to me since 2000. I have untold amount of audio recordings. Me and my ex, I did that for my protection because I knew he was full of shit all the time. I've got recordings of me bailing him out of jail after he beat the crap out of me, and how he was so sorry. In fact, I could probably play that. Let's see, where is it? Let's see if we could play something bailing him out of jail and the excuses he made for it. Because he goes online and he says, I beat him. Right. And so let's see, where do I keep that stuff? Document, nope, it's in a shared drive. Documents, legal. No, documents, recordings. I don't record anybody else but him. So it's been a long time since I actually hit this folder up. I don't even record phone calls anymore. Let's see. Let me scroll down here. Let's find a good one. Let's see. You can hear how many times I'm scrolling through the list of audio from him messed up. Where is he? I can't see. They're so generically named too. Oh, here's one, bailing Matt out. And I hope you guys can hear it. He said they made him naked and sit in a corner. And this audio, if you can hear it, I'm just waiting for him. Okay, that was me in the bail bondsman. That's the wrong one. Let's see. What's this one? Matt confronted Chief. Okay, that one's. That one's a long one. I can't even get in that one. It'll make me cry because that's when I caught him cheating. But he had 2 incidences of being caught cheating. I got a couple of those. I'm trying to find where he had to deal with me for the entire ride home after I bailed him out. And Matt bailout, Matt parents lied, Matt's pathological liar, Matt liar excuses never end. Let's see. I don't know if anybody can hear that. I don't think anybody can hear that audio. I have not optimized or changed this audio from when I first recorded it, so I'm using several devices to transmit this, and I'm just trying to find Even the FBI contacted me once over Matt, and I have a whole recording over that, but it also dealt with some private issues that are about a terrorist that attacked somewhere in this country that Matt knew, whatnot, and they were asking me tons of questions, so I don't want to get into that one. But his behavior then piqued the interest of even the FBI. Boy, I wish I would have labeled these appropriately. Maybe I have another folder. Oh, him. Let me just. Okay, it got cut off. I don't know what that statement was, but.
Okay, Caitlin Ruin.
I think it had something to do with you and your father ruining an outing of some sort over nonsense. But when he told me on the phone that he didn't like the boys and admitted to it, I was just, oh, that was just one snippet. Listen, keep looking through my folder here if I can look past my camera to see. But there's just so much nonsense. And I've got full calls, but I managed to take snippets of these calls, the really bad parts, and save them so that someday they could come back and see for themselves, my kids, what their own father was doing. And this was during a period of time where he left us homeless. And this is why he was desperate to marry Roselou. And still you can't hear him. He's crying in the background about how nobody will ever love him again. He's crying in the background like he's innocent or something. I feel so alone, Jenny just said. You can't hear him. I need to enhance this audio so bad. Suddenly, a week later, he's not like the cheater he was a week prior. See? Yes, you hear me yelling at my children. He wants to be friends with me, he said. I was so bad, but he wants to be friends with me. and he did nothing. He put his family homeless, took the house we had away. He's not going anywhere, but he stole my kids. I can't listen to that anymore. It goes on for another 40 minutes. But he was just always the biggest bag of excuses. I mean, just always the biggest. Cried like a baby for me to be his friend. And we were fine until the week that he married Roselou. We were fine. We had taken the kids to Universal Studios to see the Blue Man Group together that week. We had taken them to see a Titanic exhibition. We had sat by the pool and watched the kids swim as if nothing was amiss. Hurricane Irma was on her way to hit us, and they got married on September 7th. I was on September 6th. I had gotten a phone call that my kids never arrived at school. So I went over to his apartment, and he opened the door very strangely, and I saw my kids running amok in his apartment. I'm like, why are they not in school? And he says, well, I just thought I'd give them the day off. But the girls were very excited about a dinner at Golden Corral, a local buffet restaurant, all you can eat stuff. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. You don't take them to do stuff like that. I do. And so I took them to McDonald's for lunch, and they picked me some fresh flowers, which I have pictures of from that moment. And then I dropped him off at his apartment. He was standing in the parking lot, and I was wondering why he was standing there. And he greeted my car as I pulled in, and he started to open the back door, and I'm thinking, what in the hell? What? And he reached in, unbuckled their seatbelts, and told them to run away from me as fast as possible. And then I backed out so fast, like, what are you doing? And I went to my own building, which was only 300 feet away because I lived in the same complex. And 2 days later, I get a sheriff's deputy at my door serving me for a protection order because he says I tried to hit him with a car. And I was like, that never happened in a million years. He told my girls to run away from me, and I was so upset that I drove off around the block, not even around the block, around the parking lot to my home building. And from that point forward, he ghosted me, never responded to texts. Then I started getting text messages from this friend of Roselou's named Daisy. I had no clue who she was. I just started getting texts. And she was like, ha ha, they got married. And then my friends on Facebook started investigating, and they found out the whole truth and came to me and told me everything. And they even acquired their marriage license illegally because there's a waiting period between when you apply and when you are granted it. And somehow they manipulated them to being able to get married like the next day. And that's just not how it works here in Florida. And so, but it turned out the next day they had gotten married. I forgot to mention when I had picked up my girls that day to take them to McDonald's, he physically had shoved me out of his apartment. And that's never happened before. Because I give him free range of my apartment. He comes in, goes in any room he wants. I don't give a crap. But he had shoved me out of the apartment. And I'm like, there's something weird going on here. And that's when he took my kids from me. It was September 6, 2017. And they ran 100 miles away. And I didn't have a car at the time. They knew it. And they got this protection order against me because they knew if I couldn't get my kids if I couldn't come near them. And I ended up having a severe health crisis. I went into sepsis. My organs started to shut down. I was on life support. And I couldn't attend the court hearing. So he won his permanent injunction against me. It's another reason I don't go comment on their stuff and visit their Facebook pages. It's still active today, even though at any point in time I could actually go to the courts and probably have it dismissed because I'm no threat to anybody and never was. Because goddamn, I would have killed that son of a bitch if I was that capable. Trust me, but I'm not, so I didn't. You know. But he's the one that did the abuse. He's the one that's been arrested twice for domestic violence on me. I mean, sure, anybody can look me up. I got no problems now that stem from that, but I at least work on myself and I own up to it. That's the difference. But I still don't hate kids. I discipline with my loud mouth, which can't be loud now because it's so freaking strained from talking to people about this for the last week. My brain's worn out. I'm a lot smarter than he is, and that's a shame. That's actually truly a shame because he's been to college, but he has no common sense. He has no street smarts. I am both school smart and street smart, and that's where I have an edge over him. I know the real world. I know how people think. So I knew at some point their facade would come crashing down on them. It was just a matter of time, but I've spent years talking about this, blogging about it, posting videos about it, but I never was an attention seeker, so I never really threw it out like I should have. So they got away with it because I couldn't even get the court system to act on it, even though the evidence was right there in their face. They caused the court system is almost as responsible for what happened to my girls as he is, and allowed this to continue despite many complaints to the Department of Children and Families. Say hello, Ava.
What?
I'm on live with I don't know, I think 14 people right now. My daughter Ava's here, and she don't want to come on camera, but that's okay, she's shy. And Caitlin's so worked up over here looking for evidence and watching the hurt on their channels that, she's affected. And I tried to keep them away from this so much, but I stay away from them. But there is kids, there is DNA. They want to know what's going on. And so they look. And they get devastated when they see what they're doing. How you treat your own kids and get your rights stripped away from your own kids because you're that bad of a father, and end up having some in the Philippines by God knows what means. And I'm still waiting for people to please come forward and tell me how it's possible that they have any kids in their house given her history. And I'm currently preparing a package of evidence and all the videos and legal documents and everything to send to Raffy Toothwell. And boy, I wish he'd fly me there. I wish he'd fly me to the Philippines so I could be part of that confrontation. That would be the most awesome thing in the world. Because I've been walked all over this entire time because I'm quiet. Nobody would think I'm quiet. But I've let them do what they've been doing without comment for so long. And it's my fault, kind of. This is all of a sudden, because if I would have just been paying attention the entire time, like they think I do, which it wouldn't be such a mental stress job on me. You'd hear my real voice, not my raspy voice. The people that know him here know the truth. I mean, my best friend, Julie Falk, I think she made it her mission the other day to go on every possible thread on the entire internet and tell everybody the real truth. I didn't tell her to do that. She just told me today she went and did all that. And I'm like, what? Do it too much and people are going to start thinking I hired you to do it. And but I do have advocates out there. There are lots of people that know Matt for his true character. And they know it's the true character now versus the true character when we were married, which are two different people. For my TikTok live, Let's see if I can find something that displays who he used to be. Because and I can put it up on the screen because, like I said, he is not the person he used to be. Let's see. TikTok, YouTube makes it very difficult to go through so many thousands of videos, but I can, by using the address bar, I can change descending order to ascending order and start from my oldest video to my newest videos and see what I got going on. Do I even have it? Because YouTube removed my channel in 2018 because 2 years after I posted an episode of something on TV, they came back and triple copyright striked me and removed my entire channel. So I'm not even sure how far back my videos go here. There's thousands and it doesn't go as far back as the entirety of my actual video collection on my computer, which I guess I could go through that too, but I know I got something. Like I said, I'm a great record keeper. Family vacations that we all got. We've been to England several times. It was just something changed. She changed him, made him snap. I got a whole video of him I made him do to vouch for my character. And he looks so disgusting, like he hadn't taken a shower in 3 weeks. That would probably be a good one to share because it just has him, and I'm not coercing him or nothing. I'm just asking him to tell the truth about who I am so that future people would know that I'm not lying about the story. So many dang videos to go through. There's like no videos of him with my kids. It's really stupid and crazy. Although he would, I got some funny ones of him. Let's see if I made him do, like, back in the day, there was the cinnamon challenge. Like, I put him up to so many stuffs, and he was hilarious. And let's see if this is coming through on my TikTok live. Y'all can see that much. Let's just, no, that ain't gonna work because I can't see my own TikTok live setup. Let me just go play that from there, and you can see that from that screen. I don't know what this is, but it looks like the cinnamon challenge. Or no, he's eating catnip. I made him eat catnip. So this is the real Matthew Flavell that I used to be married to. If you can see it. You can hear it. Oops, lost it, sorry. As soon as I left it. Play. Of course, my internet connection's so stressed right now by doing 2 lives that it don't want to play. But you can hear it. Or I can turn the camera. He used to be happy, laughing, normal. That's my baby Ava in the rocker back there. But we were funny. Like, this was when life was good. This was not the evil person that I know now. then he's giving catnip to the dog. But there's so much more of that, because he used to be a good, okay human. He still never cared about his kids, but we got along. And that's the crazy part, is we got along. I got him to do the coffee challenge. I got him to do all these weird things that were funny.
I did not mean to do that.
Okay, don't be airdropping while I'm live. He would video record me as I fell out of a tree and broke my tailbone, but yet didn't run towards me to save me or anything. I just laid there in pain. There was so much good about him then, despite his flaws of being a not parent. Like, I was fine being mom and dad for the longest time because that was just my responsibility. And it was okay. It wasn't until later on I realized how much was me and how little was him. But he paid the bills, not a question. He was good to support the family. But when it came down to it, he wasn't there. I've got so many videos, like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, there's plenty of good to match. No, actually, there's a lot more worse right now that from their own production than there is of good of him, and that's kind of crazy. I do have a video of him I just can't watch these things. I can't watch them. It hurts. I'm trying to find something that's not hurtful, but yet shows the good, because, why not show the good? I'm capable of it. He's not capable of showing anybody the good of me. But I have the good, but I have the bad. And there's just such a stark difference in his personalities now and then. Like, I can't even imagine when he stole his family. Can't imagine it. Because he didn't care about his own family. Christmases, birthdays, nothing. Every phone call he made to them, I had to tell him to do. Pretty much order him to do. He never celebrated any of my birthdays. And the one birthday he did, he made me so upset by telling me I wasn't worth it that day that it ruined it. Like, I don't know. It's so hard going through all these videos. Like, it's not fair that my videos are clogged with good and I save them, and I don't, because it's to show how much she manipulated him and changed his brain. And it's so gross. And like, it turned me too. It turned me into a person that became defensive. I started fighting for myself. I started arguing for myself more often. That affects my current marriage, because I can't stand it. Like, I'm always fearful the next person is going to be. Like, I always fear something's going to happen to my current husband to flip his mind. So I'm always fighting to defend who I am. And that's not fair. And I shouldn't have to do that, and I shouldn't be doing that. And I'm working on it. And, like, I wish I had this TikTok studio set. Am I still even on Facebook Live? I gotta check. Maybe. I haven't been paying attention. If anybody's asking me anything on there, I don't know. I mostly have my TikTok live screen up. But, like, I can switch this out to, let's see, add a source. Let me go find a source. Let's see what it shows up on my stream here as. Let me just get rid of the TikTok. I mean, whatever the hell, YouTube. Let me delete that and add something else. Add source, window capture, add, and let's go to, why ain't it loading? There it is. Let's just add this. Everybody that knows me's been to this page. This is my life right here, blasted for anybody. It's a viewing pleasure. Where I'm open, I'm honest, I rant, I rave, whatever. This is I've had this going since 2001. I'm a National Weather Service storm spotter, and I love storms, so I have a heavy focus on that. I'm a photographer. I have a heavy focus on that. But then, like, I even have a page dedicated to About Me. It says everything I'm about, everything I'm in. It's my own little wiki. Talks about my businesses, a brief on my marriages, briefs on my kids, a brief on the divorce, a brief on the Warren case, Roselou Warren case, my family losses, whatever. Anybody can go here and look at it. It has my entire 500-year genealogical history. I mean, there's nothing nobody can find out about me on here. It's not a place for me to go and lie. I don't have a reason. It's my therapy. But I wrote a blog. It's funny that my blog used to be Good Married Matt, and it was. Like, I would talk about everyday life, and you can go down here and go to the archives and scroll down many years, and I didn't post that much then, but enough to show that life was normal. Things didn't start getting weird till 2011, and that's when the postings picked up. And then I recently, because my blog was lacking for a while, because I've not been in a writing mood, I imported all my Facebook status updates and made them blog postings. So there appears to be 1,425 pages of blogs right now. But since July 22nd, when it was first brought to my attention, I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 posts all by themselves out of stress. And it's crazy. And you can tell the look of my website and how it operates that I am way more skilled in this web world than he is. Because like I said, go visit 907 Technology. His picture is an AI fake. I mean, I'm a photographer and I can see an AI fake a mile away, but there are digital imprints on photos that are made from AI that reveal AI if you just know how to do it. And like, his whole qualifications are misleading. His pictures an AI fake. The software he's promoting is technology from 2011 when he would sit next to the litter box in a basement and piece together something then that might have been something then, but today it's a piece of crap software nobody would ever buy. But like, I'm just so disgusted that, you know, this all came out. I didn't cause it. And that's one thing I'm great about. It came out on its own by other people. But his reply video to my Caitlin telling and Ava telling the stories, he never once addressed the accusations that I currently have about where these children came from that they have, that you can hear screaming in the background of some of their newest videos, or the neighbor that came forward and said there's a 5-year-old boy in the house that is showing signs of trauma already. And he didn't address none of that. He just went right into attacking me and making up crap and saying, well, how could he kidnap him? He was the only parent around. No, he kidnapped them 3 years prior. He like left out a whole story of 3 years. And it's lunacy. Like, and I don't go out and achieve followers. Like, I know for a fact Roselou purchased her followers. She doesn't make when she had thousands of followers, she just didn't have the content that would have earned that many followers. So, and then Caitlin said she bought her followers, and I believe it because I've researched it and it's possible you can buy followers. And so a lot of her followers are purchased, but still, nonetheless, she's sharing this bullshit to all these followers. And you can buy Facebook followers too. I don't believe in a million years that all her followers are remotely legit. There are so many sites out there you could buy followers. My followers were earned years ago. And then I removed videos that, I just don't want up anymore. So that's why my TikTok page, it's like you see the likes, but you're not seeing the videos because I just never got into TikTok. Like, my YouTube channel was my life. And even then, I never monetized any of the content, especially with my kids in it. I was big into making mashup videos telling my life story. It's just been an emotional roller coaster. My social media has anyway. It's never been about gaining recognition, or I tried to spread the word, but I'm not that way. I never have been. My blog is about the only spot on the internet that I told the truth and nothing but the truth, but traffic. I didn't mean for it to get traffic. It's just my journal, basically. And so that's how you know it's like authentic written. It's my outlet. Like somebody would have a journal they're writing in, which I started out my life with paper journals. And then in 2001, I started a .com, and that became my journal. And I have a few dedicated people that pay attention, but not enough to sway anything or push social media. And I don't share it on my Facebook profile. I don't publish my posts. I don't do nothing like that. It's not worth it. And a lot of it's kind of personal. So whether people happen upon it or not, it's not something I'm putting on blast. It may seem like it because it's on a website, but nobody visits my website, except a select few that follow my story. But I'm not out there. It's not SEO optimized for keywords or nothing like that. Like I said earlier, I recently started seeing search inquiries leading to my site about fraud, Roselou Flavell, child abuse. The state versus was a big keyword because that brought a lot of attention. But my blog has actually been completely offline for 8 months because I gave up on it. And I only brought it back 2 weeks ago. So the timing is absolutely perfect. I don't know. Stop asking me to update my Apple Watch. Sorry, my phone's being stupid. I don't know. I did not put that on there. You don't have to join my fan club because I don't have one, and I don't know even how that was even popping up there. I touched my phone. That's stupid. But if I have a fan club, fine. I ain't advertising for anybody to join it. I don't know anything about TikTok. I don't know how to make money on TikTok. I mean, I think I made like 5 cents on doing lives last week, and I don't even know how to do that. Like, I don't know how to get viewers. I'm just not in the social media world to gain that kind of money-making skill. I don't care. All that matters to me is making sure right now that other children are safe, that history does not repeat itself, which it seems very much like it's repeating itself. And the man that I used to know that isn't the man that I did know doesn't start scamming people. I hope to God, for everybody's sake, that he is not soliciting money for his fake charity, because I don't know where he's getting the money he's got. He doesn't make it. I know his income because he has to tell the courts his income by law. I mean, not anymore, but our last update was not long ago, and his income was nothing more than my husband makes, and we're not rich. So, I give what I can to give, but there's something very suspicious about the activity, them bragging about blessings on their YouTube channel that there's no way possible they can pull off. And I mean, sure, US dollars translate to a lot in the Philippines, but like I said, he's also maintaining a residence in California, the most expensive state in the country to live in. And that's got to be next to impossible because he must be living in a shed to be able to afford that and do whatever else hell he's doing. He couldn't even afford a nice vehicle over here. He was driving cheapo pieces of shit. And that's when he wasn't paying anything to me. So he was blowing all his money on whatever else, but it definitely wasn't coming to me or my kids. And so okay, say bye. Caitlin's going to bed.
Oh, what the hell?
Say bye. And her vitamin C here.
It'll be purple
It'll be purple by the time she goes to school, which I'm okay with because I'm all about expressing your,
You said I couldn't have black hair, but I could dye my hair on the other side.
I don't want her to have black hair. She's not allowed to go the emo route.
I found out black hair doesn't look good. So.
I don't permit my kids to wear black all the time because I went through that. Hey, Beast, how you doing?
So I could color my hair purple. I have 2 different shades. I have one purple plum unicorn hair, and it's running out. So I have to use that on my hair, unfortunately, because I want to make it like a fade kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Beast, look at vitamin C back here.
Wait, I don't want to.
I have fun making fun of my own kids, but it's all
I
good
don't want to
fun.
associate with anybody.
I think I've had the most viewers ever in a session. I'm glad people are listening.
How much?
16. I don't get a lot of viewers. Nobody cares.
They like the gossip, but like the drama.
This isn't gossip. This is me.
They like anything that's interesting.
No, this is legit people that want to see who's saying all this stuff. And you can clearly tell there's a difference between me and Roselou. I don't have to put on a soft voice and change how I speak to the public to manipulate how they think to me. You're hearing the rough and shit voice of rasp right here from speaking, and you can see my personality. I am a fighter. I will tear somebody to shreds in words. I don't fight people.
My first original video got 3,900.
Caitlin is feeling very empowered, thankfully, because of some of you have shared her story. There's other people I can thank for sharing videos. I won't call you out by name. But it's made a difference. It has made.
Trying to sue the last person.
Yeah, Roselou tries to attack everybody and threatens lawsuits. Trust me, I was the victim of that too. She tried to say I was stalking her. She lost that case in a hilarious court battle. That was it lasted like 10 minutes, and she was just put to rest. That judge shut her down immediately. And because she tried to get me for cyber stalking after she took my kids from me. And I was like, I had every right to look for my kids. And I had all the evidence. And she had some 98-year-old attorney that it could not justify any one of her excuses. So she got shut out immediately. It's like if she ever tries to come after me right now, everybody knows I stay away from looking at their profiles. We can blame everybody else, and everybody else is entitled. If you make yourself public and you make yourself out there, you are entitled to public scrutiny. There is nothing you can say to a court of law that accuses somebody of stalking unless they're calling you, showing up at your doorstep, and doing all that stuff. The actual stalking, cyber stalking by repeatedly emailing them, texting, whatever. I'm not any of that. People are coming to me, they want the truth. I'm just showing them what's already out there. but I don't interact with them at all. They disgust me to the point where I would love to kill them in my mind, but it's never going to happen. I'm not that kind of person. Like, I wouldn't promote anybody to do that. There's just, it's a rage in my head. Like, I was out refining some silver, which involves nitric acid, muriatic acid, and I was just like, oh, I wish I could just throw this on her face. Just a thought. You know, it's one of those evil, happy thoughts you have in your mind. But I don't do that because it's just a passing thought in my mind that everybody has happened to them when they're in a bad situation. And I'm sure most can relate to having those weird thoughts in your mind on a momentary basis. Like, oh, I wish I could just smack him in the face. Oh, I wish I could just throw my fist through the computer screen and take it out on him that way, you know? But the only thing I do is just write on my blog. I don't make videos bashing them. This would be like, really, I've done a couple TikTok explainers, but like, this would be the first time I'm fully talking about it on any form of social media live or in video. So I really try to stay away from them because I know Roselou's a moron and she tries to attack people and she tries to take them to court. And what's really hilarious is I saw the thumbnails for the video she posted threatening Florida law. First of all, neither of them are Florida residents at all anymore. One of them is in the Philippines. The other one spends some time in the Philippines, but he's in California. So the fact that they're making videos citing Florida law as a reason, as a threat, like, what are they going to do? Like, they're not even in the state. And there's no cyberbullying going on. I mean, I'm telling it just like it is. Like, if I was cyberbullying, I'd be emailing them, harassing them, doing all that, whatever, sending them messages repeatedly, harassing their personal pages. I don't have any business doing that. Let my kids do that. You know, they're innocent. They're not going to get sued. Let them do it. Let everybody else do it.
Bullshit. Oh, she's taking an ACT for college. I was like 12. Hello?
She, like, on one, Caitlin's watching one of her videos right now about how she was telling Caitlin she had to take her ACT test, a college entrance exam. She was 12 years old.
To go to UCF.
To go to the University of Central Florida at 12 years old. And she literally tried to manipulate the school system to pass her on to high school as a junior high school student and to skip her grades when she was not ready. So we've been through all this bullshit of resetting her education to the level appropriate for her age because she tried to make my daughter out, and this isn't an insult to my daughter, but they cheated using online schooling for the state of Florida during COVID to advance her grades. They cheated to get ahead. And so it caused the school system to say, hey, we want to skip her grades when she wasn't qualified. And so we've had to go through all this bullcrap to reset her back to the education level that she was at. That's how manipulative Roselou was. She tried to make my kids, and again, no insult to them, smarter than they actually should have been. I mean, great if they were. Wonderful. I'm proud of them now. I mean, if I had genius kids, who wouldn't be proud if they deserved to be in the 11th grade? But you don't go from 8th grade to 11th grade. But they manipulated the online learning system in the state of Florida during COVID, where they had to all be online for school, to make it seem like she was above her education level. And that screwed so much stuff up. Like, it's just beyond fathomable, everything she's done to do this. And I just, there are some times when I'm just such a complete, Caitlin, can you please go get me a Coke? Because my throat's dying and I'm talking and I need something to drink. Like, we're all in therapy because of it.
I haven't even come.
We haven't started. Caitlin and Amy haven't even started yet. They're starting next week. But to grasp all this reality and to deal with what's happened and all that, it requires some intensive therapy to fix your brain. I've been in therapy for many, many years, dealing with, being made out to be a monster that I've never been. Nobody would ever call me a monster that knows me personally. Everybody knows I was always there for every one of my kids in every moment. I went to all the parent-teacher conferences. I signed my kids up for sports. I was there for Cub Scouts for my sons. He was nowhere to be found. Thank you. And, when you have a father, their job, with boys, is to go to Cub Scout meetings and be proud of them, which he never wanted to go to a parent-teacher conference, to support them, to share the good things. I had to do that all alone, even in the bad conference, because they did get held back a couple times, but it was because of developmental issues where good job, Beast. I just saw your comment.
What the hell happened?
Nothing. But a couple got held back for some developmental problems. Andrew had speech therapy. Chris had a neurotransmitting problem where it caused him not to be able to write well. And so they had to hold him back to work on that skill. He wasn't involved in any of that. He definitely wasn't involved in the speech therapy for Andrew because he couldn't talk at age 2. And so I had to arrange their speech therapist to come into the house, sit with them.
Yeah, because Matthew didn't really do much. He was always on his phone, never cared.
Every picture I have of any event, he's facing phone.
Every video I see of me and Ava or Andrew.
Always facing phone, facing computer. That's why I had to put down my photography. Because in 2020, I was just like, I have witnessed every event in my life through a viewfinder of a camera. And I said, enough. It's time for my real eyes to see the things happening. And boy, my eyes saw a lot in the last few years. I only recently just picked up my camera again and to restart that. But to only see things through a viewfinder, and it's kind of like all the viewers of this thing. You're seeing things through this viewfinder. It's not your real eyes. It's the people that know them personally that have witnessed it. Again, they can only share their stories. You're not them, and you're not me. So it's very difficult to seem anything other than I'm bashing them. But really, I'm just trying to make people understand. Don't fall for it. Just don't fall for it. I'm sorry. I need a drink. What?
Don't die.
What?
Cough.
I coughed. I'm not going to die. My throat's pretty strange. It's getting more strange. I don't care. I can talk about this forever, but you can see my eyes changing color too. It's like they're going from normal to emotional looking.
Is Ava on jensnotes?
No, that's just a video. It's just paused on the screen. I really have to get my tests done for this semester. My semester starts August 1st, my next one. And I have 2 classes to finish now. Today's the 29th. I have literally 2 nights to get 2 exams in.
Don't do that.
I will. I promise you I will not be online tomorrow.
Is your mom,
Huh?
is your mom student or your couple student?
Why does that matter?
For school.
Yes, my student loans come in. That's how I pay for college.
You pay for college?
Yes, I am not one of those people that gets a free ride. I do pay for college.
You're gonna save me for school stuff.
You'll get some school stuff, Caitlin, I promise you. That is not the topic of conversation right now.
We did talk about college.
Just because I've been so worried about this. I had like 2 weeks left to finish these 2 exams, so I thought it was okay. And it consumed me. And it's consumed me since I found out they were doing this. And so I have not studied. I have not scheduled my exams yet. And I literally have 2 days left. I mean, I already completed 4 classes already, and I've met the threshold, and they can't do anything about it if I didn't finish it, but that would be hurting my own self if I didn't complete my own goals. So I will not be online live. Maybe I'll post in the morning. What time is it? It's 12:49 a.m. I'll probably be up for quite a while, but I'll spend later on all night. In Dress and Beast. No, they're not locked up. Roselou never got locked up. She got probation, 2 years, and a smack on the hand for what she did to my daughter. My ex-husband, their father, just has parental rights stripped away from him. So they have never paid the price for what they did. Her entire probationary period, she convinced the court to travel to the Philippines on at least 5 different occasions, and they managed a vacation in Washington, D.C., which they happily flaunted on their media, and they took a trip to the United Kingdom to tour everything, and I guess to see his family, which really never cared about any of them anyway, and I'm sure as hell don't think they like her. I mean, they didn't like me because I was an American, so why would they like her? But they never paid the price. And now they're over in the Philippines. And I warned the court system that they had this plan. They were going to go to, she was planning these trips to the Philippines to acquire children, which she would have never been able to do and probably still is not able to do. So she did all this, and here it is, comes true. Everything I said was right. The courts took too long. Otherwise, she would have been in prison for 5 years. If they would have found out in a timely manner that she lied about her excuses to the Philippines, because it was a charade. She told the courts it was about caring for some sick grandmother or whatever. But all the videos they posted were of resort villas and other lavish vacation stuff and trips to Washington, D.C., trips to England and tourist sites. Not ever a video that showed them taking care of anybody. She repeatedly made excuses to extend her trips, but I knew they were there working something out, some deal about getting a child. I don't know if they bought this kid, the first kid. I don't know if they were sold the first kid. But there's no way she would have been allowed at that point in time to ever acquire legally a child in the Philippines. And probably still could. The authorities would have some major questions about her ability to parent given the legal documents that exist out there. So I'm very concerned about whatever children she has in the household that I can hear in videos and that people have reported on. And where's the money coming from? Like, she don't work. She's never worked a day in her life. She's mooched off my ex-husband the entire marriage. Doesn't pull her weight in anything. Whatever she's giving away is, I don't know. Somehow they're getting money, and that's the most weird. That's just the most messed up part about it. Like, but I'm working on exposing them for what they are in the Philippines. There's this man named Rafi Tuvlo. His job is to expose this, and along with the welfare services over there, it's going to get taken care of. But I got to end my live now because my voice is really stressed. But I think I'll post this entire conversation. I'll repost the whole live and stuff so people can see and see who I am, because I got a whole nation that some are starting to come to reality that I'm not that monster they're portraying me to be, but they are. And I'm kind of tired.
Huh?
I thought you were going to bed.
I don't know what happened.
Nothing. I've talked for like 2 hours straight, I think.
What? Don't look at me like that. I've been commenting on every single post you made with my picture with Art you got so you to talking, eating my ass a mouse. I made a new word.